Good afternoon, good evening, good zinta, good y'all, whatever it may be where you are. I'm not sports cards. Hope you're doing well. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. On this episode, I'm going to talk about how it feels like fanatics may have lost their mind. They have announced the latest Star Wars set called 2024 Top Star Wars Galactic Antiquities, which is scheduled to release um, I think in about 2 weeks, the 5th of February. Now, it is what you would say a super high end box. Here's an example of a Padme 101 auto. I think each box comes with 9 cards. I've got all this stuff up here. It's 9 cards, but here I can go over here. 2 encased base cards, 1 encased metal card, 2 encased base autos, 2 additional encased or framed autos, 1 1977 Star Wars Series 1 tribute autograph, and 1 oversized sketch. So I think that's 9 cards. Wait for it, a grand total of $3,000. That's the price that Blowout had it for sale a couple times. At first they had it for $3,000, and then it went up to $3,300. This is by far the most expensive Star Wars box ever. Not so. If you're not familiar with it, in the past, Star Wars has done something called Stellar, which Stellar was. It's kind of like an autograph set, and it had some sketch cards. But it was like you got every card in the set. So like if there were 100 cards or whatever, you got every one of them. And some of them, they're all numbered, and some will be lower numbered or not. But you got the whole set, and they started at like, I'm going to go through it. We'll go through the past history. So this is akin to in sports, like Transcendent, National Treasures, Flawless, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's an insane level thing. So one of the more interesting and important facts is that these are on-card autos. And Star Wars this entire year has done nothing on card. The only thing they've done recently on card is Masterwork, which came out last December. But in truth, a lot of the bigger autos weren't on card. What they would do is they played this magic trick where some of the bigger autos, all the duals and triples would be sticker autos. So this is not going to have any sticker autos. So you're talking about, you're seeing some of the cards here. So like Natalie Portman, Pedro Pascal. This is a very interesting product from the sense that we've not seen anything like this since Stellar. The last time they did Stellar was 2022. And we don't know what names are going to be in this. Obviously, if they're showing us Natalie Portman and Pedro Pascal, they're going to be in it. But the 3 names that matter to me in this set that will make or break it, and they've already had is Pedro Pascal. I don't know. Pedro Pascal has stellar autos, but Harrison Ford also has stellar autos. But both Pedro and Harrison Ford don't really sign that a lot. And then to me, the biggest name is going to be Diego Luna. And you can debate that or not, but Diego Luna has not signed anything ever on card. He doesn't have any stellar. He doesn't have any masterwork. So an on card Diego Luna, kind of for now would be one of the bigger ones. Obviously not as big a character right now as the Mandalorian or Han Solo. And, Mark Hamill is always big, but hey, Mark Hamill's been signing quite a bit, and he's been in a lot of different stuff. So the real buzz and question around this is like, is $3,000, and we have to assume that $3,000 is going to be the price. I thought it would be less. I thought it would be closer to like $1,800, which I still think is high. And, or it was going to be, but $3,000 is a lot of money. Essentially at $900 a card, you're talking about, almost $350 a card. That's a lot, and I want to put that in perspective. So, I personally think this is way overpriced. It doesn't mean I won't buy any of the cards. I just won't buy any breaks. I won't buy any boxes. I don't want any part of this because I think in general it's a losing proposition. Why do I feel that way? Like, people are going to get excited and they'll do breaks, they'll do whatever. But, you know, oh, I just want to go around and like, so nobody really has it for sale. They have the sell sheets. This is Steel City. Um, and I guess, you know, I don't know what Blowout was up to selling it. Um, and there's also these autographed booklets. Autographed book card, extremely rare 7-person autograph book. So I guess I couldn't figure out whether it was going to be 7 different autographs or it was going to be there are only 7 of these things. But no, it's 7-person and they'll all be one on one. Each one will be one on one. So again, if you can't see all the cards. Like they're also, I don't know where I can go that'll have this. Maybe somewhere had the extra product details. There are like 10 one-of-ones. There could be up to 10 one-of-ones per character. I believe there might be up to 10 one-of-one autographs per character. And then a couple, I think, and 2 more one-of-one base cards. So like, hey, it's cool to get a one-of-one, but yeah, I don't know. I've always been a fan of like, there should only be one-of-one per set of a character. And like, you know, I don't like when there's 2, let alone 10 or 12. It gets a little watered down. And, you know, they just want to make people feel like they did well by buying this stuff. So my kind of basis for analyzing whether this is a worthwhile thing to go after or what people should consider if they want to get into it. Listen, if you have money to burn and you think this is a lot of fun, go have at it, right? But you know, if you're just thinking of like, hey, I'm going to buy one spot in a break in a random card or a draft or whatever, I think it's reasonable to go look at like what the price of kind of like, you know, different stellar autos are or Masterwork. I don't like you can, if you want, go ahead and look at like recent one-on-ones like Chrome Superfractors and stuff like that and say, oh, you know, Mark Hamill sold for $8,500. I think that's a flash in a pan. I think there's a lot of like modern superfractor autos or even out of 5s or out of 25s that are really overvalued and that over the course of time will probably go lower. So, I mean, Star Wars Stellar is considered the gold standard of, you know, kind of Star Wars autographs. They're on card, some of the biggest characters. I'm showing here, you know, you have Mark Hamill for 15,000, Natalie Portman for 10,000. There's a different Mark Hamill for 10,000. Different. I mean, this is kind of the point. You know, you always have to take things with a grain of salt when you're looking at listings, and you're like, okay, this is what people are asking, and you see a couple of Harrison Fords here. You know, Harrison Ford does not sign a lot, but he did sign in Stellar, and they're $5,000. So, listen, if you're gonna watch a break and somebody hits a Harrison Ford, they're gonna do backflips, and this is the first of a new product, so the original version of a product may have a premium over time, but you know, if you're asking yourself, what would it cost to get me a Harrison Ford auto? Here's one for $3,250 or best offer. 2018 Star Wars Stellar may not be considered the best one, but we have not seen the checklist from this. We have not seen what the cards look like. So if you're going in and buying blind, this is kind of my point here. It's like if this is going to be what you would be considered a huge hit, why wouldn't you just buy the card? And again, you know, I'm scrolling through here and trying to see. It's not always easy to get all these listings. Like here's a Sam Jackson, Daisy. Like I think in this product, if you don't hit Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Pedro Pascal, or Diego Luna, you lost money. And I don't even know on those. Like here's a Star Wars Stellar. I think this is a Star Wars Stellar. Here's one for $2,500, Harrison Ford. Like I'm not belittling it. These are awesome cards, but like I'm trying to. The whole idea of this is to put it in perspective, so that if you're thinking, oh, if I hit the one-of-one such and such, it's going to be worth a ton of money. I'll tell you, over the course of time that I've watched Stellar, you believe it or not, the low numbers, of course, the one-on-one have premiums, but it's not the same premium that you see in standard packs or like what you'd see in sports cards. People want the nicest looking one. And there are people who just want the one-on-ones. But I remember the Rosario 101 for her very first on-card auto sat there, which might even be this. Like the 101 sat up there for $8,000 forever. and I don't even know what it eventually sold, but I mean, I know you couldn't sell it forever. And here's a couple Kiras. It's just, again, it's good to get a sense of this. I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade. Like, if you want to go after this, cool. But I would rather, like, I've done too many impulsive things in card collecting where I've bought first and researched later. And I think this is one of those situations where research first, and then if you still are like, hey, I want to buy this, then buy it. But if you're like, hey, I'd be super stoked if I pulled a Jyn Erso and a Hayden Christensen. It's like, well, here's a Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader, and here's a Jyn Erso. You get both of those, and you got money to spare. Obviously, you're getting 9 cards. You're getting 5 autos. So, hey, you could hit Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Diego Luna, Pedro Pascal, and Natalie Portman in one box. You could. But it's more likely that you're going to hit, a Peter Mayhew, a Mads Mikkelsen, a Rosario Dawson. You're not gonna, like, we don't know the low end. Like, I would really hope that they're not, sneaking in some Morgan Elsbeths, or like they're trying to keep this signature list really on the top, on the highest level. Did I not sort by? I did sort by highest. Like a Forrest Whitaker, but like animated characters, like nobody wants to pay. Like, here's a one-on-one animated character. It's $1,000. Like, if you think that's a good hit, like that probably could sit there for years before it sells. Here's a quad auto. I don't know if this is on card or not. I don't know. It certainly looks like it is, but this is all animated characters. Cool card, right? I'm gonna do something in a second. Well, I can do it now. I can do it in parallel. Open link, new tab. I just want to show you sales, right? And I can go to 130 point as well. We'll do that on 130 point first. Just again, I'm showing you all listings, what people are asking for cards. It's always important to know what they actually sell for. That's, we all know that what people ask for and what people pay is entirely different. And you can see on the low ends, like here's a Grand Inquisitor, $100. Kanan Jarrus, which is Freddie Prinze Jr., $115. Alan Tudyk, K2SO, $85. And I think these are really comparative, like a Dominic Monaghan. Like, we don't, even Carl Weathers, who's passed away, R.I.P., Apollo Creed, $170 for an out of 25. So, like, that kind of, that's what I would see as if there are any of these Rose Ticos in here, it's $35. You see a Ewan McGregor for $1,500. It's kind of surprising to me. I think that's like, here's one for $1,400 earlier. I don't know what the blue is numbered out of. Like a Billy D. Williams, $250. Again, 207 for a Billy D. Williams. General Grievous. Yeah, I don't know this stuff. This is not stuff that I would buy on an average day. And I have to admit, I'm not, like, here's a Kira, $1,400, Amelia Clark. I'm not the the target market for this, no matter what. Like, even if I wanted this stuff, like, I would like a Diego Luna, but I'm certain that I'm not going to want to pay the price. Where's my Diego Luna autograph? I always like to show off my Diego Luna autograph, my one-of-one Diego Luna autograph. This is on a British Airways plane ticket that I bought a few years ago, where it's Diego Luna's plane ticket that somebody got signed from a flight of the Isle of Man. I paid £55 for it. I'm good. It's a cool collectible to me. I don't need to pay $3,000 to have a Diego Luna autograph. So this is sorted highest price. You can see a Carrie Fisher, Kenny Baker dual sold for $2,600. So, and a Padme sold for $3,000. And those are also, that's December, that's November. Kira, and then, once you get across the top, there's not a lot of, those $1,000. This is sorted by, I think, asking price. But there's not a lot of cards that sell for over $1,000. There's not a ton of volume. So certainly, so what does that mean? Like, what am I trying to say with this? It's like, if you hit a card, like you hit a Kylo Ren and Adam Driver, it feels like a big hit, but it sells for $400. That's the average card. So, like, here's a Ray Park Sam Witwer dual mall sold for $400. So it's going to be hard to get your money back. Like, even if you hit, you need to hit, like I said, Diego Luna, Harrison Ford, Pedro Pascal, Mark Hamill. I think those are the four that actually the card itself will probably get you around the money. But you can see, like, we don't see any Harrison. We saw a few Harrison Fords for sale. We haven't seen any Harrison Fords actually sell. So they're not selling. Like, I had recently seen a Harrison Ford 1977 number 58 in a PSA 8-9, meaning it was an 8-card 9 auto, sell for $2,200. That's so much rarer than this stuff. And maybe you wouldn't want to have that, but I know for me, if you offered me a card from this set versus that, I'd rather have that. Now, if you said, hey, the 101 from this set, sure. But, and that was $2,200. So, like, that's where my head's out. And to give you an idea of, like, so that idea that Stellar, and we also used to have Masterwork. So Masterwork, I don't know if they're going to have it this year. And that was like $600. And I think you were guaranteed like 3 hits, like an auto, a sketch, a relic. I don't know. I actually don't think it was it's 600 now. I think it was 3 something when it came out. So, but you know, there's some decent posts on card forums about this. Somebody went through the idea of like looking at all the cost of Stellar, and you know, you can see in 2020 it was $8,000 with 42 autographs. 2019 it was 5,200 and it was 42 autographs. And in 2018 it was 4,500. See, the idea of like, of course the prices have gone up. Here's the 2021. I don't see, they don't have a price for that, or 2020, and they show the list of signers, and I think that's important. As I mentioned, is like if Harrison Ford and Diego Luna aren't in this, I would laugh anybody who buys this. I would laugh at. I know you're like, well, you may not care about those 2 characters, but like they don't sign a lot, and like everybody else in here signs quite a bit, except for Pedro. So like, if you're telling me there's only 1 card in here that I can break even on, you know, that's a tough thing. Let me look at here. I want to look at something. 1977 Mark Hamill auto. Just to, again, to give you an idea of, we'll do tops. I don't know if that'll even show up. You know, if you listen, your thing is your thing. Meaning, if you'd rather have a Antiquities card with signed by Mark Hamill than his rookie card, I get it. Like that, it's just different strokes for different folks. These are listed at $3,000. Then you get all the way down. There are like 20 of these listed. There used to be 14 total, and they've exploded in their availability. These are kind of lower end Mark Hamills, but one of these just recently sold in a 9. I think it was a 910. The auto was the card was a 710. Card was a 7, which is very good for this card, and the auto was a 10. Sold for like $1,400. And if we just look at Topps Mark Hamill autos, the modern, sure, you're going to get that $55,500. Sure. You can see plenty of people asking for big money for Mark Hamill autos. I think one did sell. We'll go over to 130 point because I'm not sure what it sold for. I think you're beginning to get my point of like, I think it's a bad deal. Like if you're somebody who's searching for a card, like here's the 101 Galaxy Superfractor Mark Hamill. It's not on card. And it went for $5,700. That was months ago. And like here's a Mark Hamill Harrison Ford. These are stickers, so like I don't even look at it. But I just want to give you a sense. Like I think this chrome perspective here is on card. Pretty sure chrome perspective. No, that's a sticker. I know some of your chrome perspectives were on card. You can see here are some of the what you call it's the the rookie cards. I mean, it went as low as 1,000. Oh, lower 821 on December 5th. So just keep in mind, but if you want the kind of signed but not like in person, there's stuff like that. So let me do Pedro Pascal just because Pedro is actually more money than Mark Hamill for quite a bit. Here's a triple of his that sold for 3,500, and out of 5. This one sold the other day. This was from Mandalorian season 2, I think. It's actually Mandalorian season. I don't know if it's 1 or 2. I forget. Sold for $1,800. Weird. There's one in Denmark for $1,500 you can buy right now. This looks like the same card selling 3 times. No, twice here, but $1,700 for the Pedro Rosario duel. Again, these are not on card. I know there was a stellar of his that sold, so I think it sold for like 3,000. We'll see. Let's see if somebody. Nope, I guess it's not in here. I think there was a Pedro Pascal auto, that sold for 3,400. Not finding it is the bottom line there. Yeah. Again, I'm just giving you guys perspective that the idea of what people are asking and what things are selling for and what the availability in the marketplace is different than you might consider. So I'm not, you have to figure out what's valuable to you. Like here, you can buy, this is on card. It's like a Galaxy sketch, but signed by Mark Hamill. These are really cool cards. And I'm not like, I may see the Antiquities card. Like this is this is like a cool sketch card. It's a real sketch card, but signed by Mark Hamill for 2012 Galaxy. Really cool. $2,800. I just think that people get so caught up in the marketing of something that they, looks like the same card, that they forget what the card is truly worth. And if you think that, hey, if I hit the Mark Hamill, I'm going to be able to flip it. I don't know. Like, I mean, the 101, sure. But like in what world tells you that if you hit an out of 5 Mark Hamill, you'd be able to sell it for more than a box? I don't think you would. Harrison Ford, maybe. Like I said, Harrison Ford just hasn't done a lot of signings, but he does have like more like stellar autos than Mark Hamill, because Mark Hamill stopped signing for a few years. He also has Indiana Jones. These are all sticker. I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah, there are plenty of them. Not plenty of them, but they're out there, right? So, you kind of pick your poison. If the cards come out and they look beautiful and you're like, I got to have that Harrison Ford, yeah, I would still wait probably for the secondary. Diego Luna. So Diego Luna he's only done sticker and it's only been in a few products. This is just a flex by Thunderbidder going, oh, look the card I have. That is not worth, if that card's worth 30,000, I've got Cassians that are worth 100. But yeah, so we can look here. People are asking a lot of money for Diego's. I think he's only been in 3 or 4 products and always low numbered. So there are probably only a couple hundred Diego Lunas, all told. Whereas, Hamill, there are definitely thousands. You can see Diego Luna, $1,450, $1,250. What's the lowest price you can get Diego Luna? Not the soccer player. So the lowest Star Wars auto we're seeing is about $1,000. Again, none of these are on card. If his first on card auto, I think will demand a premium. It's like Pedro Pascal. It's like, is Pedro Pascal bigger than Han Solo? No, but he signs less. He's been on less stuff. So therefore, he commands a similar price to Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford on these cards. So, obviously Natalie Portman and but I don't think people like Hayden Christensen or Ewan McGregor, I don't think they're like, you can get them to sign in person for a few $100 now, like $200-300, and there are a lot of that stuff out there. And it's not the same as pack pulled, but like when you start to talk about these prices, it's just like, yeah, I mean, if you want to get say, five, somewhere between $100 and $800 autos randomly, that's what I think you're going to get. And you might luck out and get a $3,000 auto. I don't know, like the 101 Diego Luna or the 101 Pedro or the Hamel or like, I mean, I know a friend of mine pulled a Amelia Clark from the National and sold it for like $5,000, the 101, like, but I think that was in the moment. I mean, I just don't think there are. I don't know. Like maybe I would have to see those 7-person booklets, but I don't know how many like 5-figure cards there are in this set, and you're paying $3,000 for a box. Just doesn't the math just doesn't add up to me. I don't know. I just like, you know, as I've mentioned, Diego Luna is the only card that has like interest to me because I collect Cassian Andor, and he doesn't have any other on cards. But that's gonna change, right? Like over time, like if they get him in this, it'll change. And also, if Andor season 2 is any good, I could buy this triple right here for probably $800. I would bet at this point. It's just yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna watch it very closely. I'm excited to see the product, and I just wish it was a third of the price. Like at $1,000, yeah, where you're paying $100 a card, or even 1,800, where it's $200 a card. Sure. Um, Again, without the checklist, without all the examples, we don't know. Like they played these games with Galaxy and Chrome, where it's like, yeah, Mark Hamill's in this, but he signed 25 cards, or is like, whereas whatever, Wade Wrestling signed 500, 2,000. I think it's kind of scammy not to put out a checklist and an odds thing, but that's what Fanatics and Top does. I I'm of two minds of like, I don't want to see this succeed from the extent of like, I don't want to see these prices continue, but I want to see it succeed because I want them to make more of these. But like, I think this product comes out of the gate pretty strong, like first couple of days, and then I think it falls flat, and then I think in years it'll be better. But I think we've kind of hit the peak, not of what prices can be, but like a value for price for Star Wars cards. It just don't like Fanatics is counting on this being a huge crossover to sports and stuff, and like to sports cards collectors, and that worked for Chrome, and maybe it'll work for this. But I'm enough of a student of the Star Wars card market to go. You can just go look at Star Wars card and go, how many cards over $3,000 have sold in the last whatever 3 months, right? Like, let's see here. Can we do? We'll do. I don't even know if I can do Star Wars card. I just don't know if it's a good enough thing here, but like, it's not as many as you would think. Trust me, that have sold for over the price of this box. So and be like, well, these cards didn't exist. It's just the idea of what the market can bear. If you go look at sports cards and go look at how many cards over $3,000 have sold in the last 3 months, it'll be hundreds, thousands. Like, it's just a different market. I just don't think this price point is warranted for the size of the market right now. And, I think they definitely risk, not shearing the sheep, but slaughtering the sheep. And we'll see. If people don't care about reselling these things, it's fine. If people are like, I want a chance at a big auto, and I want to, and I'm going to keep it, but I'm not going to try to just go out and resell it and be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to sell this Adam Driver, and I paid $600 for a brake spot, and I thought I got a hit, and I, after fees, I'm still down $300. It's just not a good look. But we'll see. I'd love to know what you're thinking, whether you're going to buy this stuff, whether you're excited about it, whether I'm just, lost my mind. And I see my my thing at the bottom here has been all stuck on port cards this whole time. So I guess I'm now port cards, not sports cards. Like, subscribe, comment. If you're not subscribing, you're stealing. Because if you don't subscribe, that means I won't do more videos. And of course, you just watch this to the end. So how could you not be subscribing and loving every bit of the content I do? So that's going to do it for me. I'm Not Sports Cards, and I am